Bulls Nation. Not too long ago was there a video released by ESPN where Aidan, Woj and Lowe and Lowe were discussing potential landing spots for some players. And funnily enough, the Chicago Bulls was mentioned. And I feel like when you have people like Lowe and Woj speaking about the Chicago Bulls, it's very important to listen to the things that they have to say and to take note in some of the things they have to say. So we're going to be talking about that specific video. We're going to be talking about sections that they've mentioned in the Chicago Bulls. And we're going to be discussing my opinion on these things in this video. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls related video, and this one's referring to a video released by ESPN's YouTube channel discussing the potential landing spots for some of the players the Chicago Bulls are interested in. They have mentioned the Chicago Bulls in here as well, and a bunch of other things as well that they have said that maybe people might not take too much note of, but could very well be a reality for the Chicago Bulls. Very interesting things to talk about today. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about what Woj and Lowe had to say. Now, if I do remember, I will be sure to leave the link of that video in the description. So please, I recommend you go watch this yourself as well, so you understand where I'm coming from, you understand what they have to say, and if there are any mix-up between what I say and they say, you'll have the full understanding if you watch that video, and you can make up your own opinion with what they have to say. There are a few players that they mentioned in terms of the Chicago Bulls, and I feel like many people will be very happy with some of the players that they've talked about, and there's probably one player that I feel like many people won't be too thrilled about for the Chicago Bulls. So the first thing that they did mention was Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball was a landing spot specific talking point for I guess Woj and Lowe and Lowe to talk about. And the key thing that they said here was that in the perfect world, the Chicago Bulls and Lonzo Ball would fit together. They would come together and they would play with each other. Lonzo Ball would be a Chicago Bulls if the perfect world existed. And that was very good to see them talk about that. Obviously, we are a team that's very interested in Lonzo Ball. They was also discussing the fact that this could have happened at the trade deadline if we would give up a few more picks. The Chicago Bulls were hesitant to do that, so that trade didn't come to fruition when they talked about Lauri Markkanen as well. We'll get to Lauri Markkanen in a bit. But with Lonzo Ball, a perfect scenario for the player and for the team. Very, very interesting for them to say something like that. And I feel like this is what many of us already believe. Woj and Lowe may have said it, but I feel like many Bulls fans already believe this to be the case. Now, with the Pelicans potentially being interested in a player like Lauri, that doesn't leave much for Lonzo Ball on the Pelicans. And I feel like if you look even on the comments of those videos and you look at the comments all around the league, it doesn't feel like many people want Lonzo Ball to stay on the Pelicans. It feels like there's a franchise in the Pelicans that just doesn't seem to know exactly where their head is at. They don't really know the direction they want to go in. And if they're looking for veterans and they're looking for players like Lauri, who's 36, is a veteran and can probably help the Pelicans win in a faster rate compared to Lonzo Ball, there's a potential there for Lonzo Ball to very much lead the Pelicans and lead for very little. At the end of the day, we were talking about trades when it comes to Lonzo Ball and the trade deadline and how we could have ended up having that happen for us. For the Chicago Bulls, right now, there could be an opportunity there where we could just sign Lonzo Ball and the Pelicans may be willing to just let us have the player, which is very interesting. And let's hope that that is the case, and let's see where they go with that. Obviously, as a Bulls fan, I would love Lauri to go to the Pelicans, because if Lauri goes to the Pelicans, then that means Lonzo Ball will be easier for us to grab. And obviously, that's our top priority. That makes sense. And again, in a perfect world, the Chicago Bulls and Lonzo Ball will join together. So that is very, very good to see. At the end of the day, Lonzo Ball's not an all-star player. He's gotten better every single year. He's fit our needs dramatically well. A match made in heaven, in my opinion. And again, with his gradual improvement every year, we may see a very, very, very good Lonzo Ball in the coming years. And that's the investment that we're looking at here. And that's what I want to see the Chicago Bulls do in the long haul. They mentioned Lauri Markkanen as well. This is another player that they've been talking about. When they talked about Lauri Markkanen, they talked about Lauri Markkanen with Lonzo Ball. They said that the Pelicans declined a trade, and they were very close to getting a trade for Lonzo Ball for Lauri Markkanen and a few picks. and the Chicago Bulls were hesitant to give that draft compensation. And at the end of the day, I think this makes sense. Obviously, Woj said it, Zach Lowe said it. It's probably going to be true that if they say things like that. And it makes sense because we did make that trade for Nikola Vucevic. And Nikola Vucevic got a lot of our first-round picks, 2021 first-round pick, which is the draft is coming in a few days for that. So we'll see what the Orlando Magic could do with that. 2023 first-round pick was also taken for Nikola Vucevic. I think they were very hesitant to give up 2022 or maybe even 2024 first-round picks as well. I just don't feel like the Chicago Bulls are willing to sacrifice all of their picks just in case, for whatever reason, this team that we're building doesn't work out. Then it makes sense to have a backup plan, and those picks are our backup plan. So they were hesitant to do that, and that makes a lot of sense. But when it comes to Lauri Markkanen, it's gone very quiet on him, and even they mentioned that it's gone very quiet on Lauri Markkanen, which begs the question, what is his future going to be for the Chicago Bulls? At the end of the day, he's one of those players that I think many people have kind of given up on, or just say, you know what, it just might be that time to leave. But at the end of the day, it's gone very quiet because I don't even think the Chicago Bulls really know what they want to do with Lauri Markkanen. I see many people say in my comments that they're going to be letting him go, and if that's the case, I would kind of want to see if they could try and make a sign and trade for him, because I don't want to let a talent like Lauri Markkanen go for nothing. If that's what it takes to get Lonzo Ball, maybe the Pelicans decide, yeah, we'll take Lauri Markkanen. We let him go in restricted free agency. They give us Lonzo Ball. Fair enough. That's a situation that could happen. But at the end of the day, I don't want Lauri Markkanen to go on a free. I don't want him to just walk out of the door and we get nothing in return. So that's going to be very interesting as well. But the fact that it's gone quiet, I'm not sure if that's a worrying sign or a positive sign. I really don't know where that could go. But keep your eyes on Lauri Markkanen as well. That's someone else they talked about. Suddenly, they also talked about Derrick Rose. And in relation to Derrick Rose with the Chicago Bulls, Woj, I believe, was the one that said this. He said that it's not the top priority to bring Derrick Rose back to the Chicago Bulls. However, if he does not return to the New York Knicks, there's a good possibility and there's a good place for Derrick Rose in Chicago. That's very interesting to note as well. And I made a video not too long ago about Derrick Rose, and I said I would love to bring Derrick Rose back, but I wouldn't want him to be the only point guard that we bring back. At the end of the day, he's not a top priority. Obviously, Lonzo Ball, as they probably know already, is our top priority. But if we are able to bring a player like Derrick Rose in, if he does not want to return to the New York Knicks, or if the New York Knicks do not want to bring back D Rose, and I feel like it's very unlikely, but if there is an opportunity there that D Rose doesn't return to the New York Knicks, the Chicago Bulls is a landing spot for Derrick Rose. That is something to keep your eyes on. For nostalgia's sake, I would definitely bring back Derrick Rose, and I still think he can offer us something on the bench. That backcourt, bench backcourt, and starting backcourt, if we can bring Lonzo and D Rose into this team, if that's a possibility, that would be very scary, in my opinion, offensively, for sure. So, key thing there. We'll see what happens with Derrick Rose. Again, I still think D Rose in the Knicks makes the most sense. Again, contending teams might go for Derrick Rose, but I just feel like from the very beginning, since D Rose got traded to the Knicks, it was a perfect situation for him. So, I don't see why they would want to give that up after 1 year. Let's just see how that goes. And I believe the last thing that they mentioned, definitely not the least, it's probably one that many people don't want to happen. I believe they were talking about Dennis Schröder, and Dennis Schröder potentially being interested. The Chicago was being interested in Dennis Schröder. However, Woj, I believe, thinks he sees him returning to the Lakers. I don't see him returning to the Lakers. Again, Woj would know more than me, so you'd probably take his side on that. I actually don't think Dennis Schröder would go to the Lakers again. I feel like there's been a lot of argument in terms of the team, as there's been reports that him and Kyle Kuzma have been fighting throughout the entire season. Dennis Schröder wants to get paid, and everything in that area. I don't know if the Lakers are going to be willing to give that for Dennis Schröder. However, I don't think the Chicago, again, if the Chicago Bulls are interested, they're going to have to give up a lot of money. Money that we might not really have to give to Dennis Schröder for 4 years. It's a lot of money, and this might not be the right direction to go in. So keep your eyes out on that one as well. I think most people don't want that to be a reality. That wasn't mentioned in the video, but I'm pretty sure in another video it was mentioned. So unfortunately, good news with bad news. I think most of the things that they were talking about in relation to the Chicago Bulls was very positive, very good news, and it made a lot of people happy and smile. If you're a Bulls fan, it left a lot of NBA fans questioning if it's the right move to make in terms of Lonzo Ball, Derrick Rose. Again, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on this. But if you're a Chicago Bulls fan, I think most people would be happy with that news. However, the Dennis Schröder news, I think, took a lot of people off guard. I didn't think it was a serious interest. But again, if it is a serious interest, that might be something that could be coming our way if other plans don't come into fruition. So we'll have to wait and see with that one as well. I'm going to choose not to believe Dennis Schröder's coming to the Chicago Bulls for obvious reasons. Again, I don't hate the player. I just don't think he fits what we want, and especially for the price that he wants. I don't really want to go after Dennis Schröder. But again, we'll wait and see with all of that. And that's the news that Woj and Lowe pretty much mentioned for the Chicago Bulls. It was just them talking about landing spots, potential. Again, none of this is absolutely confirmed. But when you have analysts inside in the know, NBA reporters talking about this, talking about potential landing spots, obviously they would know a little bit about some of these situations. So it's very good to keep your eyes out open for what they have to say. Again, if I do remember, I will leave the link in the description below. And I want to thank you guys for watching this video. These are my opinions on what has been said. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts, again, about any of these players. Dennis Schröder, Lonzo Ball, Derrick Rose, Lauri Markkanen. There was a lot. And of course, we even mentioned a little bit of Lauri going to the Pelicans as well. With that interest being pretty much alive at the moment for the Pelicans. So we'll wait and see what happens. Have a wonderful and safe day, Bulls Nation. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care.